question would be, Doc, are liars more tapped in to their imagination than truth tellers? Because truth tellers observe, you talk about the cause and effect, truth tellers observe the physical to come up with a
Hmm.
conclusion. Liars tap into some shit that ain't happened. They make it up. They just create some shit on the spot. This could have happened. I could have went left. They'll say, oh, I went right this way. That they'll just make some shit up. My question, are liars, and we've seen these liars be successful in terms of finances. So, Doc, are liars more tapped in this into this imagination than people who observe the physical to tell the truth, Doc?
Well, let's not say that they're more tapped into the invisible. Let's just call them more cunning.
Cunning. Wow.
Cunning.
Interesting.
Why they study human nature,
Yes.
and they take advantage of the vulnerabilities of the human spirit, the human heart, as well as the human passions and all the types of uh, what would I call it? Let's just say that they have weaknesses and addictions. And
Mm-hmm.
if you were to read some of the old materials, you would see that that what they did was they elevated human weakness
Mm-hmm.
to a science.
Yes.
And what they did was they knew how people would react. That's what psychology is about, or psychiatry is about, not psychology.
Mm-hmm.
Psychology is the study of how people think and what motivates thinking. Psychiatry is controlling thinking, you see. So
Yes.
psychiatry
That's
is
deep.
not
That's
a
deep.
real science.
Uh-huh. Okay.
It's a means of control. So liars, as you're saying,
Mm-hmm.
liars are not tapped into anything but what their own selfish way of utilizing free will.
Mm-hmm.
Liars understand that free will can give you anything that you put out there because every human is a creator.
Mm-hmm.
They understand that. So if you're a creator, you can create any reality you want and then put it out there like a merchant
Mm.
sale. And that's what they do. It's called one of the sciences that I will teach is called synthetic synchronicity. This is the most sophisticated form of lying because they set the modem, they set the direction for the lie, they give you the substance necessary to support the lie, and it's even to a point where we call it predictive programming, where I can tell you this is what's going on. And then because you believe just that first point, I can then set up a synchronistic pattern where every time you look for evidence of whether I'm right or wrong, the pattern has already been set in place to substantiate what I said as a lie in the beginning.
Whoo.
So, in that
Whoo.
synchronistic format, you're going to fall into every piece of evidence, and that's how they play you on the news. The news is synthetic synchronicity.
Synthetic synchronicity.
That's what I call it.
Love it.
It's
Love it.
an artificial way of getting you to marginalize your attention, your
Yeah.
perception, and your consciousness towards an end that they already have predicted, that they
Right.
already set in place. It's the Hegelian dialectic, problem, reaction, solution. So a liar is not anyone that is tapping into any real spirit. They have to be more imaginative because they have to compound all the necessary materials that go to substantiate their lies. But they have to keep jumping from one foot to the other because a lie always lies on the liar.
Mm. Mm.
And they will always lie on the liar and then tell the truth because the lie that the liar puts out there comes up against the universal truth. And who gonna win then? So liars have to do it. But then when you lie long enough, like this society and this Europeans paradigm, when you lie long enough, and the people begin to see that the lie is beginning to become threadbare and falling apart like a cheap sweater, that lie cannot exist. Just like evil cannot exist, it cannot exist very long. it begins to wane. It begins to eat on itself like a cancer. A lie is like a cancer. It begins to eat on itself. And all they do, people who are liars, good ones, is they keep patching up the holes, keep patching up all the bruises that that lie has created. And so you have people who lie, like you see the government right now. Everything is everything is falling down now. You can't lie to anybody anymore. I've never lied to the people because I know what a lie does. It comes back on the liar. Look at what the lies have done that Cat came out. Cat is just simply the person who opened up the door and pulled the curtain aside.
Indeed.
The
Indeed.
liars, they convicted and indicted themselves.
Mhm.
You see, so you know if the judge says to the bailiff, "Could you read the charges?" You know who's the one who did it? Who put the charges? Who caused the bailiff to have to read the charges before the judge? The liar. And the liar going to end up coming before the judge pretty soon. I'm not talking about no Jesus Christ. I'm talking about himself.
Doc, if these people take a little bit, they take the truth and they bend it and they twist it to hurt us and to our disadvantage,
Right?
should we take the truth, bend it and twist it to our advantage?
Well,
They take the truth and they, they may take the concept of the law of attraction and they're bend it and twist it and put a white man in front of it and they say, if you pray to this man, then you'll get what you want. Yeah, you could get what you want, but you don't have to pray to that white man. Should we do the same, but to benefit our people?
no, no, you can't use the tactics of the evil one.
Okay, okay.
Because what that will do is just bring the evil in to substantiate what you're doing.
Mm, mm,
Because you're
mm.
using that power as your means to broadcast or to forward your message. No, let
Indeed.
your message be pure.
Yes.
Let your message be clear because that will cut through all the bullshit that they tried to do to cover their own asses.
Hmm.
It's not going to work. And you have to remove yourself from the truth and trying to over substantiate it. The truth doesn't need that much help.
Right.
You don't need to actually sit the truth up and then get your guns out and start shooting at everything that you believe is wrong. The truth will stand for itself. They say the truth crushed to earth shall always rise.
Hmm.
So when you remove yourself from the consequences of evil, when you remove yourself and know that everything balances itself in the end and that you're in the middle of the crucible that's going to bring the truth to light, all you say is, I just take 500 milligrams of fuck it all.
Woo! Fuck it all, Doc. Doc is
And
raw. Yes, all right.
then say, okay, I'll tell you what. You come to me and tell me what your immediate problem is, your individual problem is, because I do counseling that way. And I will tell you what it is that you have done to actually get in your own way.
Indeed.
You see.
Wow. So Doc, one thing also, and for the people asking in the chat, the link to the webinar is now pinned at the top of the chat. So it's in the description and it's pinned at the top of the chat. So I advise everybody, if you didn't make the first one, sign up to Doc's webinar. The brother just said it's going to be 11 and a half hours. The link to sign up is at the pin at the top of this chat, family.
Indeed.
Okay.
Indeed.
And so Doc, wonderful conversation we're having as always. I always have a wonderful conversation with you, my brother. Another thing
You're easy to talk to, beloved. You are
that
so easy to talk to. You have no idea.
appreciate it, my brother. One thing I know a lot of us. You mentioned Cat Williams,
Yeah.
and he talked about the Hollywood. He also talked about drugs in Hollywood briefly. One of the drugs that is very popular in this country is alcohol. Now,
Right.
in the spiritual community, Doc, they say alcohol, another name for alcohol is spirits. And when you drink alcohol and you get drunk, you could black out and a spirit could take over your body,
Right.
possess you.
Yeah.
My question to you, Doc, is one thing that a lot of people do once they drink and they have and they engage with alcohol, they have sex, Doc. So my
Yeah.
question to you, Doc, is once a person gets drunk, say they get so drunk they black out. The lady he's with, she gets drunk, she's blackout. They engage in sex, she gets pregnant. Now, is
Right.
the child that is born, does it have the energy of the spirit that possessed that man, that
Wow.
that child that is born, or is
Yeah.
that child the spirit of the original host of that avatar?
That's the thing that happens with people who don't understand what, say, ayahuasca is, what the
Yeah,
mushroom plant is, what alcohol or what they call the spirits really are.
yeah.
The spirits were actually to use to cleanse the environment, not to be drank. If you want a walk-in, if you're practicing, say,
Mm-hmm.
contemplai or one of those, and there is a particular spirit based upon a particular thought or action that the spirit represents, then what happens is your body, you have to diminish your consciousness for the spirit to enter into the body. You have to take it, you have to take yourself out of the equation. And that's why they say that a drunk man's words are a sober man's thoughts.
Ooh.
So when you're dealing with the spirit from alcohol, you are removing yourself from the man, the sober man,
Mm-hmm.
and you're going into the truth teller,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
the one who does not hold his tongue,
Mm-hmm.
and you get more information out that the person who would be more discreet. The sober man is more discreet with his words, he's more discreet with his actions. The drunk man is not. So that using the alcohol for that reason is the only reason, because then you have the people around him or her to protect that entity that comes in to speak the truth.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But
Okay.
these people take, they took it and they used it. Now the European man needed the alcohol because the alcohol was the way that he was able to convert uh, what they call iron, ferrous iron, into heme iron. And the alcohol was necessary. If you look at any of your movies in Hollywood,
They're drinking all
they're
day.
drinking constantly.
All
The
day.
reason for that is because they could not convert the iron in their body to process and conduct oxygen throughout the system without that alcohol changing or helping to change the heme iron, change the ferrous iron into heme iron, which is iron that can now join with the hemoglobin to conduct oxygen throughout the system. The European need that. But because your melanin is dark, you didn't need that. And what happened was he gave that poison to the native peoples whose systems were so pure, they all they had to do was take a damn sip and they were out. Whereas these Europeans could drink back and kick back and drink all kinds of it. But today, because we've now taken on their culture, we are just as crazy and as stupid as they are, because what it is we are not inviting the spirit that is there to actually help raise the tribe or to raise the community in that ritual, but to actually enjoy in taking in whatever spirit is around them at that time. And it could be some kind of demonic shit that people don't even know is there. That's why people end up killing people while they're drunk, while they're driving, they drink, they kill people. No, any of these, what they call psychotropics, were always used as a way, it was like a messenger service.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a way for you to get the mail from the spiritual world.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the people would then speak in these particular frames of mind. They would call them, they were possessed of the
Mm-hmm.
spirit. And they would call the spirit Gemaya, or they was called the spirit Obatala. They would call the spirit that was necessary during specific seasons were also called upon.
Mm-hmm.
So that during a specific season, they knew a particular resonance of the planet would be giving off certain information that certain people would be sensitive to, and then they would then filter that information in that state of mind so that the tribe may benefit from that knowledge.
Doc, what do you think about using alcohol to for libation purposes to call on spirits? A lot of people, one of the more popular people who did it amongst our community was Bobby Hemmett. You take
Yes.
alcohol and in the hood, brothers do it all the time. Pour out a little liquor for so and
Yeah.
so. We do it's like it almost like we just do it without knowing what we're doing. So what's your thoughts on that
That's
ritual
a
that we
throwback.
do?
It's a muscle memory
Muscle
from
man,
our
okay.
culture.
Yes,
You
sir.
know, we have in the mitochondria of our black woman who
Mm-hmm.
holds the library of all life on planet Earth or
Mm-hmm.
plain Earth.
Mm-hmm.
You the information that filters through her is
Mm-hmm.
in the mitochondria,
Mm-hmm.
and the mitochondria becomes the receptor. It becomes the receptor to the akasha. Now,
Mm-hmm.
there are different ways that human experiences are logged into a
Mm-hmm.
library of consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
It's locked into the feminine principle on the material realm in the female mitochondria, but it's also locked into the waters above and the waters below.
Mm-hmm.
The memory of fish and their experiences with man, but the memory of man as an energy that you create in the form of templates of consciousness that essentially are like sigils. They're like memory patterns that are digitalized into a kind of hieroglyphics that you can tap into. So when they showed you the Japanese, what is his name, or Moto, his name,
Um, I know you're talking about. I
you know what I'm
forget.
talking about.
Yeah.
He showed that water has memory. So the first thing I thought about was water has memory. Then what is the akasha?
Mm.
If it's not the memory of all human thought and human actions, human passions, it's water. And
Yes.
it is actually holding on to all of the experiences of humanity. And that's what these bastards in the AI are tapping into, the Akashic records. That's why
What?
they can predict what's happening 10, 20 years from now, because all life is a cycle that revisits itself on different patterns of expression.
If water's memory, Doc, let's say you visit the North Pole or somewhere that has been frozen for such a long time, Doc. Let's say you take a chunk of ice from there, Doc, because they got all these water machines popping out that could take
Right.
water from this, take water from that. Let's say you took a chunk of ice that was frozen for millions of years or something, and you filtered it out and you drunk it. Would you
Yeah.
have access? Is that
Yes.
like accessing the Akashic records by doing that,
That's
Doc?
why the Japanese are so far ahead in their technology.
Woo!
Why?
Okay.
Because everybody was laughing at them when they were actually toting whole icebergs back to Japan.
What? They was doing that, Doc?
They was doing
Doc, get
that.
out of
And I
here.
was
Come
telling
on.
people,
Doc, well, hold on. You saying
hmm
the Japanese, they was tugging whole
they would get a
icebergs.
ship. Yep,
They would
they
get a
would get a
ship.
ship, and
Uh-huh.
they would explode, and they would take the
Man, get the
because it
fuck
goes
out of
with
here.
so deep, and they would explode, and they would hook up and chain up
Uh-huh.
icebergs. And then they would take these powerful ships and tote them back to Japan.
Yo. Yo, I'm glad I asked that. I did not know
Mhm.
that. That's crazy. When was
It's-
this? When was they doing this?
oh, this was happening back in the 90s, man.
In the 90s, yeah?
In the 90s, brother.
Oh shit. Damn, Doc. Yo, that wow. Oh, that's wild. Oh man, this is why I'm glad yo, if y'all don't sign up for this webinar, let me put this back on the screen. This brother knows. Listen, y'all, it's going down, Doc. Tell him the date. Tell him the date of this webinar, Doc.
The date is the 18th of February,
Crazy, man. Wow.
and the 18th is on a Sunday. And if you can see my if you could see my part where the 18th there is on a Sunday, and it's at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And what you need to do is to sign up. And if there's any problems, uh, hopefully I can actually help you out. Listen, we're going to send out information on how to get into the webinar, because a lot of people are having problems entering the webinar. Not a lot, but a few. We didn't have a lot this time, but a few people are having problems because we put instructions on how best to visit and to participate. And you have to do it in that order to make sure you check every part. Once you have registered, make sure you check your spam or any other envelope, because if it's brand new to your particular web, then it most than likely the security of your webmaster may shove it right there to spam. So check everything once you've done it, and this should give you back a an indication that you're registered, but they're not going to give you the link right now. The link will come maybe a day or on the day right before it starts. Why? Because it's security purposes. And if you give that link away and somebody else uses it, you can't give it away because it's specifically coded to your email. If you give it away, you will not be able to get in at the same time as somebody else using your link. So
Mhm.
please read the instructions, because my wife and Sister Brittany, who are the people running the administrative end of the university and every other service we're dealing with here, they have set down specific instructions on how best to utilize. And the other thing is to download the Zoom app. Download the Zoom app so that you can actually, your computer will recognize the link much more quickly. Thanks
Mhm.
for the time to tell everybody that. And of course, you see it: who, what, when, where, why, and the how. And we're talking about how and when, why, all of the different ways that they're coming at us. And we're going to deal with the origins of the deep state. I did an aristocracy of evil back in the early 90s over at the theater. What is that theater in Harlem?
The
And
the National Black Theater.
National Black Theater, exactly.
Yes.
National
Yes.
Black Theater. I did an aristocracy of evil there, and I was the first one to reveal how the Twin Towers were actually brought down, and that's another place where I did it, and it showed exactly what it is. And then later on, these Europeans came along to actually try to tell everybody what was happening, and I had already broke that particular code.
Mhm.
So we had a lot of good vibes from the National Black Theater. I heard they're
Indeed.
renovating, so hopefully, when Mama's a lot better and her book comes out and she's doing better, maybe one day I'll take another trip to New York if it has not gone down the rat hole, and based upon everything that's getting ready to throw down.
Indeed. I got one more question for you, Doc.
Hmm.
Wow, what a show, man! I mean, this was. I love when I have shows and I'm so energetic. I'm more energetic leaving the show than I was starting the show, because we're trained. If we work for an hour, we're supposed to be tired because our body just exerted energy for
Right,
an hour. But
right.
I just exerted energy, but I gained more energy than I exerted. So that's something else to be studied. You know what I'm
Divine
saying?
reciprocity, divine reciprocity.
With divine reciprocity, indeed,
Yeah.
Doc, indeed.
Mhm.
Well, we're talking about science. We've talked about physics. We've talked about so many things. We've talked about manifestation and bringing things into existence, going from wave to particle. And one of the main ingredients, a lot of people come up on my channel and they may have rituals, they may have spells, they may have prayers, they may have all this. One of the secret ingredients, Doc, that I noticed, Doc, that is practically impossible to teach. Everything else you could teach, but this secret ingredient seems to be hard, and I want you to talk about it. Maybe if you give us a definition, we could tap more into it so we could apply it to everything that we get from the speakers such as yourself. And that secret ingredient is intention.
Yes.
You may say, drink this drink and this is going to cure you, or wave this and this is now. If a person's intention is right, this may cure a nigga. You know what I'm saying? So talk to me about the secret ingredient of intention that seems to be people will get all the other stuff right, But tapping into the intention may be the most difficult part, but it's the most powerful part, Doc.
Yes, it is. Intention is the positive action of will.
Mm-hmm.
It's intention is focused will.
Mm-hmm.
So when you focus your will and you have an intent, the intent must have a picture, it must have a design, it must be something that you, through your emotional body, amplify
Yeah.
with that emotional energy.
Mm.
Because emotional energy is the most important and most potent energy that is the cohesive element of creation.
Emotional energy.
Emotional energy. The emotional body is exactly necessary for all
Mm-hmm.
things to come about. If you don't have the proper emotional body,
Mm-hmm.
that the some people are born without the necessary radiation of emotion, the emotional body, and
Mm.
that's what causes a atrophy of their sexual organs, which makes them either sterile or infertile.
Mm.
So
Interesting.
everything has a particular residual resonating energy that comes from intention. You have divine intention, and then you
Mm.
have your corporeal intention, or what we call temporal intention.
Mm.
Now, your temporal intentions, which means that you're trying to motivate matter to bring something into a specific form.
Mm-hmm.
And your intention must be such that your attention
Mm-hmm.
to the quality of emotional energy going into the intention is very important.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you go in with a emotional energy of doubt, if you're going with an emotional energy of hatred,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to lock down the frontal lobe, and the only thing operating will be your what you call your reptilian brain. You do need the reptilian energy because it's kundalini, but it can stop at the medulla oblongata and go no further into the frontal lobe, where all the creative energy actually exudes from.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you see a lot of the Dravidian masters used to have this circle, because
Right.
that was the portal for the energy that they would use through their focus and intention.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're dealing with your emotions and your intention, it must be focused on something so that the sigil or the template that's created by that intention
Mm-hmm.
gives instructions to the four elements: fire, air, water, and earth.
Mm-hmm.
So these are actually conscious as themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So fire, air knows only air, water knows so forth. But
Mm-hmm.
when your intentions creates the template, residual template that
Mm-hmm.
resonates outside your body, what you're doing is you are calling these four elements. You notice I said four elements, not five. There
Why?
are only four elements that constitute the WORD.
D.
That's what they mean.
Uh-huh.
Okay? So
Mm-hmm.
when you are focusing your intention, you are actually calling on these four elements that are conscious as themselves,
Mm-hmm.
and you're bringing them into your sphere of influence so that they become conscious of themselves.
Mm.
When these four elements become conscious of themselves, now they lock into you because you are conscious as yourself.
Mm.
And now you give substance to that consciousness that they have, because now you lock into a personal sphere of energy and influence that you are now radiating through the emotional body that is now primed as the
Mm.
source, as the gasoline, as the
Mm.
electromagnetic energy to forward your intentions into materialistic.
Pardon my language. This is some deep shit, Doc. Damn, he's a bad mother. Woo! What an answer, Doc. Damn it, man. You still got it after all these years, Doc.
Hey,
Whoa.
I got stuff here that I don't even know I got.
Wow, you got man. That's wow, man. That's ooh, man. You wow, powerful, man. Once again, family. Before we get out of here, make sure I don't know, something got to be wrong with you. Not live. It's in the description. So if you enjoyed this live, I advise you to sign up. And boy, oh boy, this has been an absolutely And I see the people saying, everybody saying they signing up. I see people saying, yeah, definitely, yeah, sign up. I mean, this has been an absolutely magnificent conversation with this gentleman right here, one of the geniuses on planet Earth. Doc, before we get out of here, your last message, contact info for the people, Doc.
Thank you, beloved.
Yes, sir.
If you have any questions, if you'd like to deal with the upcoming semester for metaphysical psychology, where we teach the methodologies that I just spoke of over a 3 month period, you can go to uksnow.org. I think my beloved brother already posted that. And you
Mm.
can sign up. We begin the next semester on the 23rd of March. So you have enough time to actually register. You can go in and read and check out what's going on. There are also testimonials to our metaphysical psychology courses. You could press the testimonial link and read what other people have achieved. And we have dealt with superstars from all different walks of life, as well as regular brothers and sisters who are dealing with their own lives. And also for you who know that the education system is the deducation system. The deducation system is warping our children, telling them that they're not male or female and so forth, and just destroying everything that we have put down for our children. If you want your children to get a good education that is based in their culture, check out ismhomeschool.org, ismhomeschool.org. And for those of you who wish to either become partners, who wish to actually get the tower garden so you can grow your own food in your own home, or you wish to get the Juice Plus that is powerful that I take, that I personally take, and I think that you love it, you can talk to someone about it. Her name is Nanette Hill. This is my daughter in law. And you can text her at 404 543 3245. Once again, 404 543 3245. Text her first so that she can get back to you. Tell her that I referred you and you would like more information on either becoming a partner so that you could promote JP, or you want to get the Tower Garden or the four